So I've been celibate for 8 years, and every time I tell someone that, they're usually either appalled, shocked, and surprised, or they completely understand. And as someone that in the past only dated men, I think that will probably make you understand maybe why I've been celibate for so long. But I also think a large part of the reason why I stopped dating and why I stopped having casual sex and just getting out there in general is I shaved my head about 8 years ago to this day. I believe it was actually yesterday that I shaved my head 8 years ago. So I shaved my head on International Women's Day. And I immediately noticed a huge shift in the way I was being treated and the way that men were approaching me. I was still on the apps. I was on Tinder, I was on OkCupid, but as soon as I updated the photos, I immediately got a different type of approach by the men, and even men who had actually already been in communication with me immediately changed their perspective on me and the way they were approaching me and communicating with me. Men were approaching me very respectfully before and just wanting to go out and get dinner or drinks or whatever, and then immediately became very fetishizing and immediately were talking about my head and what they wanted to do to my head and just immediately turned me off. And I definitely went through a period of time where I was noticing that this was a huge trend. I'm also plus size, and I think that combo was very attractive, I guess, to many men. And I got a lot of comments on Facebook, I got a lot of comments on Instagram, and I just turned off the dating apps and just said, fuck it. I don't want to do this anymore. I think it's kind of gross and I don't like being treated this way and fetishized in this manner. And I just decided to stop dating. There were like a couple people that I was talking to here and there on and off. I'm also pan, so I think a large part of this is that I haven't actually tried to date anyone besides men really in that 8 years. And I think that's mostly just to insecurities. I'm not super familiar with the queer community in terms of bar culture. I'm not a really big bar person anymore. I don't really drink. And I'm old lady. I'm 42. And so for me, I'm not going out past 10 p.m. And I know that's hard to date people, or at least I feel like so much is bar culture. And so I don't know. I think that's part of the reason I just stopped. I also moved to Union City, New Jersey, and I just, especially during the pandemic, I feel like I just didn't really know what to do out there. I was still on the apps, like I said, but then obviously during COVID, no one was really dating, or if they were, it was kind of taboo. You weren't really supposed to sleep around because you weren't really supposed to be in communication or contact physically with anyone. And so I just stopped. And I didn't miss it after a certain point of time. I feel like told that we're supposed to date. We're kind of told that we need to be in a relationship, especially as women. I feel like it's a big cultural thing for a lot of people. You feel like you have to have a partner. And my brother's married, he has 2 kids, and I feel like most everyone I know is in a relationship. And so I don't know. I feel like I was kind of on the outskirts a long time. And I've had friends that are like, oh, you need to start dating. I can tell that you would like to be in a relationship. You just don't know how to start. I do want to date. And I do think part of it was that I also got turned off about the bald head thing. But then it switched gears where I just was like, well, I'm happy being single. I don't really like miss dating. I think most of that was due to the fact that I didn't really miss dating men, if I'm being honest, especially considering watching from the outside on all my girlfriends' relationships with the men they were dating and how horrible and terrible they were. It didn't make me really miss it too much, if I'm being honest. But I definitely have in the recent couple years felt the urge. And I will say, I think part of it is that I also wasn't feeling myself, which I think is part of it too. I wasn't feeling sexy. I wasn't feeling very attractive, and not even attractive. I think I just didn't feel like myself. I said this in my previous video about the hair. I don't think I really felt like myself with having hair. And now that I have a bald head, I definitely feel more in tune with who I am as a person. I know it's such a strange concept, but I feel the urge to date again. So I think I'm going to try. I do want to go to a speed dating event. I'm going to go to a queer one first. If anyone has any recommendations based in New York, I would definitely like to know them. I also just want to try dating more in general. I do think I want to get back on the apps, but I think speed dating would be fun. I want to do more community based stuff. It's so funny. I'm such a homebody. I literally never want to go outside. As soon as I shaved my head, I was like, what am I doing today? Where am I going? Who do I want to see? And I think part of that is it's now 60 degrees in New York. Everyone's outside. I went on a really long walk today and I was getting so inspired. And it's just like, it's so beautiful out. It's 65. I can hear my wind chimes in the backyard. It's beautiful. This temperature is great. Cannot wait to be outside. But that's the reasons why I am a little nervous about the interactions I've already had with a couple men. I've been blocking people heavily already because I already experienced that when I was 8 years ago. I think at that point of time, I wasn't quite strong enough in to be like, I don't want to fuck with that. And I don't know, I entertained these people and now I'm like, no. I don't want that attention. If you are not going to come at me from a respectful way, you are immediately blocked, or I'm silencing you or muting you, and I do not care anymore. And I think previously I would have been like, oh, I didn't mean it. And no, you meant it. You're not looking at me in a respectful manner. And I just don't have the energy or the time or care or capacity for that anymore. That's my current opinion on all of that and celibacy and where I'm at currently. I do feel really good. I feel like I'm playing with my makeup a little bit more. I loved adding this ear cuff from Jelani. I'm also tempted to play with gold again now that I don't have the gray, but I do love the contrast of the silver, just staring at myself. I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying more talking without any concepts to the camera, just because I do enjoy this and I used to do a lot of vlogs on YouTube, and I have posted a couple videos, well, reposted videos that I did here and then transferred them on there. But I might try to start getting back into more chatty talk through videos again, just because I do enjoy having that communication. So that's it. That is why I've been celibate. That's my current headspace in terms of where I'm at. I could go into deeper details about my past history with dating as well. I do think there's a lot there too, where I had some really toxic relationships with men that I do think deeply affected the way I view men in general. And I think it's things I need to work through. I should probably really get a therapist this year. And I don't know. But especially now that I'm trying to date again, I do think a therapist would be helpful. But that's where I'm at. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you guys are been dating again, or maybe you are also celibate, definitely let me know. And I'll see you in my next one.